Hello, what's the crack? What's the story? Welcome back to the channel. Queen, Days of Our Lives, Part 3. Let's go. Thanks for the likes and the comments. I see everything. Thank you.
Shortly after I started to manage them, I had told all the band one of the ground rules is don't do any press without clearing it with me.
Okay.
Because you open yourself up to all kinds of things. Usually they turn on you. So I went out to dinner with Freddie in the White Elephant in Curzon Street. Casually in the middle of dinner, he said, I did an interview with David Wigg from The Express today. I said, I thought I told you no interviews without clearing it with me. Oh, well, dear, never mind. I said, well, fuck you. If you don't work with the rules, you don't work with me. And I got up and left, and I left him there. I came home, went upstairs, turned on the TV. The next thing I knew, a brick came through the window. And I looked outside here, and Freddie standing in the street, hands on his hips. Don't you ever fucking leave me in a... Sorry, come in.
Queen
Wow.
didn't have
What a story.
particular respect from the critics during the 70s, which is when they had so many hits. And then punk happened in the late 70s, which made the standard rock group seem passé.
The punk stuff, as opposed to what Queen did, they were coming from two different points of view. You know, it was anarchy on one side and monarchy on the other.
NME was one of the most vocal proponents of punk. We were taking, if you like, music icons at that time, and we were rubbishing them, basically. So it was thought that we should interview Freddie Mercury in particular, and they asked me to go over to a house in Knightsbridge owned by John Reed. And there's Freddie sitting on the patio, and the whole house was very ostentatious, it's got to be said.
We did an interview here with the NME, and, you know, we were very nice to the guy. I had a butler, we gave him lunch.
There was a butler, there was a bodyguard, there was probably other people, you know, going around with feather dusters and what have you.
And then the story came out slagging off Freddie.
Freddie Mercury, when the whole of the punk new wave movement was going on around him, had focused in on something that was kind of a bit of an alien concept in some ways, which was ballet.
Is it?
I just feel that there are sort of balletic moments in our sort of repertoire.
One of the things that he said to me was that his mission in life was to bring ballet to the masses.
I feel like this is why I kind of like Queen. They're so unique in the fact that I don't know what they're going to do next. Like, I've reacted to probably about close to 25, probably 25 to 30 songs, I'd say, at this stage. Yeah, probably. And each song, it's like, it's different. It's never the same as a previous one. And it's just the way the group thinks. It's just the things so different, which just makes them, you know, unbelievable. Yeah? Let me know what you guys think.
Well, when the NME piece came out, Freddie was furious.
Man, a
They
prat.
called him a prat.
Why?
You'd be furious.
I think we've realised that talking to the press gets you nowhere. You might as well sort of paint a target on your head and go, shoot me.
We all have our ups and downs, and we all have our limitations, and we all know that there are certain things you can't do. But, I mean, I don't want some arsehole critic to tell me that.
I love posing. That's for the press.
Well, this is Wessex Studios, where a lot of News of the World was done. We were recording here, and the Sex Pistols were in at the same time.
Well, we met the Sex Pistols in Wessex Studios, and I thought it was fascinating.
One day we were in the control room and Fred was sat at the desk and suddenly we heard this voice and it was Sid Vicious who'd come in and he was clearly the worse for wear.
Sid came in, and Sid was a moron, you know, he was.
Wow.
And he called into the room, have you succeeded in bringing ballet to the masses yet?
Wow.
I called Sid Vicious, I called him Simon Ferocious or something, and he didn't like it at all. I said, what are you going to do about it?
Fred went up and took him by the lapels and pushed him out the door.
He hated the fact that I could even speak like that.
Right. Then,
So we went, I think we survived that test.
Well, you're just 17, all you wanna do is disappear.
I thought when we went into News of the World, you know, we couldn't reinvent ourselves as a punk band, but we wanted it a little bit more simple. Of course, we thought maybe these really grandiose things weren't really quite what was happening then, and to be more of the time, I guess we made a more straightforward record.
Once we had our audience, we felt so confident in them that they would be there for us and not require us to be anything that they'd seen before. They were very open-minded Queen audiences, so we never felt constrained.
Wow, look at the queue. What?
Well, We Were Rock You and We Are the Champions had a very sort of definite genesis.
Wow.
The way I remember this story is Bingley Hall. We played this great hall in the Midlands, and it was heaving, you know.
I know the binge. Oh my God. I live in the Midlands, in Birmingham. I know the Bingley Hall. I've been to the Bingley Hall. What? What? What are the odds? When he said the Bingley Hall, I'm like, it can't be the one in Birmingham, can it? That's ridiculous. Wow. It's not far. It's about 15 minutes from me. Wow. That's a great history right there. That's been there for... Never knew that. Well, okay.
You know, those gigs that you love, it's all sweaty and hot and the atmosphere's great. Everybody's jumping up and down, making a noise. And what they were doing was singing along.
She's a killer queen, dynamite with a laser beam, guaranteed to blow your mind.
In those days, it was really new, I have to tell you. You just didn't go to concerts where people sang to rock bands. But on this particular occasion, they didn't stop. And when we went off stage, they sang You'll Never Walk Alone to us. I think I'd gone to sleep thinking, well, what can an audience do? What could you ask them to do? They're all crammed in there. They can't do much, you know, but they can stamp their feet, they can clap their hands, and they can sing. So I woke up with We Will Rock You in my head. And we went into Wessex with these ideas, and that's what happened.
We'll rock you.
This area here was towards the middle of the main room, which is where the recording took place. And this is where all the boom boom chars for We Will Rock You was done.
There happened to be some boards lying around, strangely enough. And I thought, well, what does this sound like?
Wow.
And we multi-tracked it a lot of times to achieve a sound of a
No way.
big throng of people stamping and clapping.
That sound is so legendary. It's mad the way that came from him stamping on the ground. Wow.
Huge sort of rally of people. So I came up with We Will Rock You, and Freddie came up with We Are the Champions, and I think his thought process was very similar.
Basically, it is a participation thing. I've been very cold-blooded, and I'm just thinking in terms of public stroke group thing.
I paid my dues, time after time.
We had no idea it was going to become a sort of universal, worldwide sports anthem. Well, the two of them did, Rock You and Champions. In football or whatever sport you're playing, you've got two opposing teams, and both of them can sing We Are the Champions. But in a rock show, there's only one team.
It could be construed as a rather elitist thing. But it's really we, the collective we, you know.
But if I were you, before you find out, just get the sound
like an overall sound on the drums.
It's definitely a song of great unifying power.
We are the champions. No time for losers. We are the champions.
Because here we've got 4 tracks of vocals, one with a solo guitar, and then that's got N-bit solo.
Well, listen to them, darling. That's the only way we can do it.
Fred was very cheeky, you know. I think, of course, it was about Queen being the champions in a sense as well. You know, the sort of arrogance
Makes
for which
sense.
we were famous.
We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers. 'Cause we are the champions.
Of the world.
We are the champions, the current anchor position in the charts of number...
Only Queen could come up with the title We Are the Champions. I mean, where's the modesty gone?
Well, there isn't any. There's no modesty whatsoever. After the slaggings off what we get from the English music press, well, who cares?
It's the sound exact same.
News now. Anyway, it's only a song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fuck 'em.
Love it.
In those days, it was do the album, do a video, tour America.
It was regarded as a sort of grail of the rock scene. America was meaning more and more to us, and obviously when you sort of smell success in America, you go for it.
If you looked at what was going on in the States at the time, the music was very much dominated by the cool West Coast kind of rock with Eagles and Steely Dan and Fleetwood Mac. And to some extent, Queen, I guess, didn't fit that mould.
They were bigger, more glamorous, more extravagant than I think anything that existed in the States at the time. So they really didn't know what to make of them.
Why would you call your band Queen when there's obviously 4 guys in
Yeah,
it?
innit? It's crazy.
That was puzzling.
I remember we were all in one station wagon. Then we were all in one limo. Then it was 2 in one limo and 2 in another. And then it was 1 each. But it was really only because the sort of entourage grew. It wasn't anything to do with not wanting to talk to one another, you know.
We did stay pretty connected, you know. We didn't disappear to our dressing rooms. Generally, we sort of found a big place where we'd all get ready together and we would kind of joke around. We had a good kind of camaraderie.
This is called a miracle, folks.
I've lost my shoe. Oh, but I don't do my own. Dave! Do.
Again, I keep saying this. I love the fact that he's so unique as himself. He doesn't care what anyone thinks. I love that so much about him. I just love that.
I went to see the Queen show, and I'd never seen so much luggage and crew and amps and lighting. And I said, this is not rock and roll. This is a show. This is a production. This is Broadway.
The audience participation elevated the shows to something really special. And I think we put a bit of distance between us and some of our contemporaries like that, because it was such a great two-way event.
This was a coronation for Freddie Mercury in this town.
Bass! This is great. Woo!
It had always surprised us that it took so long to break Queen in the States.
It sounds like it happened quickly, but it didn't. It happened over a period of about 8 years.
Wow.
We worked very hard at it. At no point did you think we've made it, because we hadn't.
This is
Oh, guys, that's part 3 done now. Thank you so much. I'm absolutely enjoying this. This is so fun. I can't believe we're part 3 already. I'm getting to know Queen with you guys. It's just unbelievable. What I've learned in this part is literally the transition from Europe to America. How they just learn to be themselves, not caring about when one has to say. Yeah, just learning that and just unbelievable. Let me know what you've learned from this part, and yeah, I'll be in the comments replying to every single comment. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye bye.